In this segment, I'm going to show you how to customize the Creative Drawings workspace. That's going to enable you to be able to hide some of the toolbars and customize the space so that it looks and feels the most comfortable to you and creates the largest design area in the center. So one of the most obvious ways that you can customize the workspace is by automatically hiding some of these toolbars. And for example, the Tool Options toolbar at the top, the Object Properties toolbar that's on my right, and the Thread Palette toolbar that's on the bottom, all of those toolbars have the ability to auto-hide, and that's found right here, right beside the word Object Properties. There's a very small push pin, and that push pin, if I hover over it, it says Auto-Hide. Now I'm going to go ahead and click on that push pin, and you'll see that it basically rolls up that whole toolbar and makes it a tab on the edge of my workspace, and if I hover over the tab, that toolbar becomes available. And as soon as I take my mouse off of the toolbar, it just rolls up and cleans up the workspace. So if I go ahead and automatically hide the Tool Options toolbar and also the Thread Palette toolbar, you can see right away that it's made a lot more workspace available, and quickly I can easily see my Object Properties, or I could see my Tool Options. Now if you've decided that some of these toolbars, maybe you have a large desktop and you've got lots of workspace already, and you like to have the toolbars available for you to view at any time, then you just simply don't hide them, or if you have hidden them, you can unhide them by clicking on the push pin again, and that basically sticks the toolbar back onto the workspace and keeps it open. You also have the ability, and you may accidentally do this at some point, is close a toolbar, and if I close the toolbar, it actually just goes away. And so now you can see we don't have an Object Properties toolbar available, and if that happens, then you can turn the toolbars on or off by using the View drop-down menu, and then down at the bottom here it says Toolbars, and this is how you could go ahead and decide which toolbars were turned on or not. So Object Properties, I'll just click on here, and it automatically turns it back on. Now another thing you can do with these toolbars, I'm just going to show you, if I click and drag on the word Object Properties and drag it away from the edge, I can make it free floating, which gives me the ability to make it as any size that I want to. So I can make it long and narrow, or I can make it basically as small or as large as I want to. And so that's one other option. And you can also decide where these toolbars appear on your screen. So notice when I click and hold the word Object Properties now, see how these little arrows, these are like the quadrants of your computer. So you have the top, you have the right side, the bottom, and the left side. So where would I like to put this Object Properties toolbar? If I decided I'd rather have it along the top, I can place it over the top, and that's where the toolbar gets set, is in that area. So Tool Options is there, and so for example, if I roll them both up, you can see here that I get two tabs, one for Tool Options. No, I don't want to look at my Tool Options. I actually want to look at my Object Properties, and then so basically you get to choose where the toolbars are located and what you want to do with them. Now I'm going to put my Object Properties back on the right because that's where I like to have it. So I'll just place it there. Now I also have the ability to decide how much space this toolbar gets. So notice when I mouse right over to the edge of that toolbar, I get this little horizontal line with arrows coming out of it, or vertical line I guess with arrows coming out of it. I could drag that, click and drag, to set the size for this toolbar. So obviously the bigger I make it, the more space that I have for the different parts of this toolbar. And so if you're going to auto hide them, then sometimes it's not a bad idea to have it nice and big because you're hiding it anyways, so it just rolls up. But then when you roll it out, it's got more space, and therefore is easier to select from the different menus where you have dozens and dozens of patterns to choose from. So making that toolbar nice and large gives you that opportunity. So it's the same thing with the Thread Palette. If you'd like to move the Thread Palette to be part of the right hand side, I'll just do that, and you can see the same thing. If I auto hide it, now I've got my Object Properties on the right hand side, I mouse off, or I have my Thread Palette on the right hand side, and that gives me the most amount of space in my workspace by sort of tidying these up. So that's one thing you can do. And same thing now with the other toolbars that don't have push pins, like for example the editing and designing toolbar here on the left. That toolbar can also be made to be freestanding. So for example, if I mouse right at the top of this toolbar, you'll see I get this multi-directional arrow, and now I can take and move that toolbar to wherever I'd like it to be. I can change the dimension of the toolbar and make it, you know, a little box if I want over here, or make it longer. And then another thing you can do, there's a little arrow on this toolbar, and when I go over that arrow, it gives me the Toolbar Options, and they are either the add, remove buttons. Here, maybe I'll make sure that this is found within my zoom area here. I can either add, remove buttons, and so if I look at that, I have the ability to add different tools. See, even that comes off my workspace. Let me move this down one more time. I'll put it right down here and try one more time. So if I go to look at the Toolbar Options, add, remove buttons, look at all the different tools that are available that we could definitely add. Well, some of these are the tools that are already on this toolbar. So what I could do is I could turn some of them off, or I could actually have the tools appear on different toolbars. If you go into the Customize option here, you have the ability to make even further modifications to the toolbars, and I think you can even create new toolbars. I didn't fully test all of these functions, but there is a customizing menu to give you further commands to being able to modify the toolbars. I didn't really get that far into it, but what I did find was that I really like being able to roll these ones up and save some space, and then you can decide where you'd like to have your toolbar. So once I've got it, again, to move it, I just click and drag, click and hold over the word tools, and it gives me that multi-directional arrow, and I could move this toolbar up and bring it onto the top, or put it over on the left, wherever you want. So it's sort of up to you to decide where the toolbars go. Another thing you have that you can do to customize your workspace is you can add guidelines, and basically to add a guideline, you just need to mouse over top of the rulers that are on the top and left side of your workspace and click and drag, and it pulls down a guideline. And guidelines are nice because they give you a little bit of a reference line. I'll zoom in and you can see my guideline here. If you wanted to make multiple designs line up along a same sort of horizontal line, or if you're trying to digitize something with very accurate spacing, you can set yourself up with guidelines. You just click and drag over top of the rulers on the side to bring in a guideline into your design. So that's a little bit more about how you can customize your workspace in Creative Drawings so that you can get the most workspace possible and the most comfortable feel that works for you.